Hey there, it's Mark from Men Who Bullet. Thanks for checking out today's video where we're going to be returning to Zinnia. It sounds like a fairy tale. For planners, it might be for you. Zinnia is a fantastic digital planning app that's out there on the Apple App Store where you can actually create your own plans, your own digital planning books and notebooks right on your iPad, and maybe some special details later on about something special that's coming in the very near future. But what I thought we would do in today's video is actually return back to the Zinnia app. The very first time that I reviewed this app was back in March 2020, and a lot has happened in the app, and in a very, very good way. Excited to share with you today special features, brand new features that are brought to the app, and awesome new fall content that was just added in the beginning of October. So let's go ahead and return to Zinnia. All right, so as we go ahead and get started in here, we have the journal section here. This is where you get to keep all of your journals. Now, if you have the premium version of this, which is the paid version, you can have as many journals as you want with as many pages as you want. There's also a free version just to get a taste of Zinnia if you're not quite sure if you're ready to go in for the premium version or not. They'll let you have a few notebooks with about 3 pages each to get a feel for it, but it has all the content inside of there. So let's go ahead and take a look inside of the studio real quick. This is one of the biggest changes you'll see is that obviously when the app just launched earlier this year, there wasn't a whole lot of content here. Since then, every new release, every new update, new tutorials and information all will live inside of the studio area here. So for example, we have the October treats section here, which is all about the new October content. So you have things like pumpkins inside of here for Halloween. You'll also have some autumn items inside of here and some other cool new additions as well. One of the big things we'll talk about inside of here are all of these new features, but they actually have an article here that talks about a lot of them. Line smoothing, which is brand new to the app. I can't wait to show you that. There's also the trash bin, which is a new feature that they have. So if you accidentally throw pages or a whole journal away, you can always get them back. A pinch to zoom feature, and they've also included a lot of video content in here as well. So for instance, we did a live stream not too long ago of all of that new content. So a lot of that is also made it inside of the app too, which is really cool. There's also other articles that you'll see inside of here around content like back to school, ways to use frames, creating decorative headers, all the things along the lines of that. So let's go ahead and actually get into some of the meat of this app and take a look at some of the new pieces. One of the first things that they've added most recently is actually a whole brand new ton of new covers. So in the beginning when Zinnia started, there was a handful, a good amount to be very honest, of covers to customize your journals. But recently they've added a lot of these new, I'll call them like photorealistic, probably a better word for them that we could use, but just really cool new ways to add to your journal and personalize it even more. Of course, you can always add your own photos inside of here or just use one of the plain covers, but we're gonna go ahead with this leather-bound one that we see here. Now, as I mentioned before, one of the new trash can features that they have in here is like, say for instance, I accidentally deleted this entire Return to Zinnia journal and say I had a lot of things in there. Maybe it's by accident, or maybe you just picked the wrong journal perhaps. Down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see this new thing, deleted journals. And what you can do is click on that and you'll see any journals, whole journals that you accidentally deleted. Now you have two options. You can delete all of them and get rid of them forever. Or if you click on the little ellipses down here, you'll see that you can restore that journal back to the main page. So I can clear out of here and you'll see the Return to Zinnia journal is back. So pretty neat. You also have that feature with pages as well. So let's say that I go ahead and delete this first page that I have here. You'll see that deleted pages shows up down here. I can click on that and you'll see all of the pages that you tried to get rid of, or maybe accidentally got rid of, or maybe it was intentional. And you can do the same thing, restore them, or if you want to delete them forever and never see them again, you can do that too. So let's go ahead and create a new page. Nothing really new in this section here. We still have the blank, the dot grid, the grid line, and the spreads. You have all of the same color paper that you see up here as well, so it's pretty neat. Now what I did here is that in the future they are talking about adding a color picker that would allow you to customize the color of your pages, which I think is pretty cool. So looking forward to that new feature when it comes out. I'm just gonna go with a blank one for now because what I wanna do is take a look at a lot of the new features inside of the studio. So the studio here is up in the top left-hand corner. If we tap on that, you'll see all of the same studio items that we saw before, all of the new October themes and articles, new features, and other content right here at the top. So again, it's just more of the same, but in a smaller compact area here. The categories are where we have seen some changes. So for instance, templates and stickers are exactly the same, but collections here, that actually used to be called themes. So we just have a name change. The content that is in here is still the same, where everything is grouped by liked items. So if you are looking for a very thematic spread or journal page, you can go right in here, for instance, and choose autumn, and all of the autumn stickers and lettering and everything else are in here, and you can just add them to your page quickly. Now down here with some of the smaller category buttons, you'll see that there have been a few name changes. The content again is still the same, but there's just some different names that they have. For instance, the journal cards back in March were just called cards. So inside of here, they have just cards that you can add to your pages as like almost like whole screens. So whether you're creating like a monthly start or something along that line, you can use any of these cards to just add to your pages. Some of them have lettering on them. Some of them are blank that you can add text on top of if you want to. Next down here is text boxes. This used to be called writables. I think text boxes probably convey a little bit of a better message, so I can see why they potentially changed the name. But everything that's inside of here are elements that already have text boxes already pre-made in there. So if you don't want to write it in yourself and you just want to type it yourself, you can type right inside of these and format them however you want. The next one down here is planner icons. So this used to be called signifiers. Again, a good name change that I think that happened here. This is where all those icon elements and the signifiers, but also some calendar elements exist inside of here as well. So I can understand a little bit about the name change here for sure. Now paper packs, that used to be called just paper. And that used to live actually, it looks like dividers and paper just switched positions, but the paper packs are kind of like the card that we were looking at, but these paper packs actually cover the entire page instead of just one side. So you can really understand the difference between the two of those. Of course, you can resize these to fit and rotate them, but they both have different purposes. You can see a little bit more as we explore. Now over on the other side where it says lettering, this actually used to just be called text. So just a title change, all of the same elements live inside of here. These are all the pre-made letters and numbers. There's also the months and the other headers and things that exist inside of here that you can tap and easily pull over as well. Washi tape is the same, but there is so much more washi tape inside of here. When we did the original review of this is the part of the app that still just like blows my mind for multiple reasons. One, because there's a lot of content in here and you can find almost anything that you want, but I'm still just so blown away by how the washi tape works that you can just like pick up one of these tapes over here and drag it and the patterns just seamlessly continue as you're creating it. I just absolutely love those on there. Frames is still over here, so this just has exactly as it's named, all of these different frames and corners and things like that that you can add. And then the dividers, like I said, that's still the same name, but it's just flipped in position. And that's just all of these vertical and horizontal dividers that you can use throughout your journals. So let's actually just go in and get rid of this page and go ahead and delete it. We'll get started with a new one. And let's take a look at some of the new features that are inside of here. I'm going to select the dot grid this time around and treat this a little bit more like a planner page as we go through it. Once we're on here, I'm actually going to show you something real quick. I'm going to take my iPad here and I'm actually going to put it into portrait mode real quick, because what I want to show you is one of the new features that they have. If you pinch and zoom, you'll see that it actually snaps to a one page, and then if I just swipe over, it pages over. So this is a new feature that exists, so you don't have to keep pinching in and out and zooming in and out to see your pages. If you're utilizing this throughout the day and you have a stand or something like that and you're just kind of working through, or maybe you're keeping your digital notes in here and you want to just look at them page by page, now you have this feature where you can snap it in and look a bit closer. I'm still going to work with my iPad this way though, and then I can see everything at the same time. So let's go ahead and take a look at this new content. I'm going to go right into stickers because this section has just grown exponentially since this started. There are now themed sections as you go through here. So when this app first started, there was a smaller amount, so you just kind of scrolled through here. Now there's so much content here that it's actually organized for you. So we have the top section here, which is called abstract. So you'll see a lot of abstract lines and things like that. Like I mentioned, you have these new flags that pop up. So you have these black and yellows, which are brand new. Some pretty cool looking things over here. Very cool vibe going on with these. There's a whole animal section now as well. So if you're looking for different bunnies and kitties and all these little cute animals, they're here. Here's some new moth content that's inside of here with some really cool textured moths. So whatever you're looking for, it's almost all here. I still don't know how they keep adding content in here. It kind of like at a certain point you'd think it'd be like, hey, there's nothing else to add because there's so much stuff. So whoever's curating this is just, they're killing it. The ephemera section here has grown. Now we have things like passport stamps, mail stamps, tickets. So that's all some really cool stuff. We've got events, food and drink, health and fitness. We've got a hobby section now. I'm a professional hobbyist, so I can definitely appreciate these. Here's some travel journal stuff here. This is the first time that I'm seeing some of this. Even though there's not a new flag on it, I probably missed it in one of the other updates, but that's in here, so that looks pretty cool. Here's the whole holiday section now. I just see this section getting bigger and bigger and bigger, obviously. Since March, there's been a few things that have gone on, obviously, like Easter, and I know there was some Easter content. Here was some spring content. 4th of July and Mother's Day are in here. But now that it's Halloween and now we're in October, there's a whole new section here of new content. So we have All Hallows Eve, so we've got pumpkins and some cute little ghosts and some skulls. Bewitched. So this looks like all line drawings that are inside of here. While I'm in here, let me show you one of the other new features that just came out recently for the app. So any item that is a solid color, let's pick this witch's hat for instance. What you can do now is add your own color to any solid color item. So for instance, if I click on this moth here, because there's multiple colors inside of here, you'll see down here in the bottom of your screen that you have like a little bit of like a transparent circle here. You can control the opacity, which is a newer feature of the app as well. But for a solid color item, you see now there's like 3 colors that are down here, a red, yellow, and a blue overlap. If you click on that now, you'll get your color wheel to open up and you can pick any color that you want. Whether it's one of the pre-made ones, you can still control the opacity, or you can use the color picker here, and that'll actually put the color picker on your screen. And as you can see here, as I'm hovering over these other pieces, it's picking up those other colors and then changing that icon. So for a while you've been able to do that, but what's new about it is you can actually do multiple elements at the same time. So let me go ahead and pull these over real quick. And then if you hold down, you'll get that lasso tool, and I'll select all 3 of them. And then you'll see the 3 overlapping dots down here. And then that way I can select whatever color I want on these all together. The same thing also works with opacity. So if I select these items over here, I can change the opacities all at the same time. So one of the newer features that was just added inside of here. So let's go back, take a look at some of this other content that we have. We've got Day of the Dead. So we've got some sugar skulls in here and some really cool illustrations. Jack-o'-lanterns, a whole lot of personality going on inside of here. So you can add those to your page too. Really cool stuff. We've got a home section now, tools, spring cleaning, furniture, just for fun. So this is kind of a bunch of cute stuff. That should be a good title. Maybe it should be cute stuff, right? Kids and parenting. We've got a music section. Here's some new content over here. We have some cassette tapes over here. Let's take a look at some of these up close. That's cool. So some old school classic cassette tapes that we have. Retro audio. A lot of nature content was added. So flowers, forest items here, plants. You know me, I'm gonna go for these houseplants and succulents. Those are super cool. Got a people section, retro vintage, school and education, spiritual. So we've got crystals and some other cool magical themes here. A lot for travel, words and phrases. This has really grown a lot too since before. Keep smiling, self-motivation, travel inspiration. Really cool. Love this. So let's actually go ahead. We're going to swipe over to a new page. And what I thought I would do real quick is take a look at those drawing tools that I was talking about before. So underneath the drawing tool, which is over here on the far right-hand side, if you tap that, you'll see that all of your tools show up here on the bottom. If you double tap on those, you get all your other drawing tools. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the technical pen. This is just kind of like a mono line, so if you use Procreate or anything else like that, it will seem familiar. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's the line and then the color icons here. Everything is the same here. Up in the preview section, you'll see as I make those lines thicker or thinner, you can change the opacity of that. And then what's new down here is the smoothing. So the smoothing goes from 0 to 100. And in the preview box, you'll see how it changes that line from being very open to kind of very tight. So I'm just going to write my name with the 0. So this is a 0%. And you can already see how gross this looks. So that's my name written with my handwriting with no smoothing whatsoever. So if I go back down here, and I'm going to juice it up to about 77%. Not that that number has anything to really do. I'm just kind of picking randomly. And I'll write my name again. So I can definitely see a little bit more of those lines. So if we zoom in here, you'll see the difference between the two M's that I have here is like, for instance, right here on this top section right here, you'll see it's much smoother than it was before. All right. So let's zoom in a little bit more. So now let's go in and let's take that baby up to about 89, 90. We'll do 90%. Ooh, I think I found my sweet spot. That's 90%, which is really nice. Much smoother lines. I feel really good about that. And if we take it all the way up to 100, ooh, you'll see it's really, really tight as it's moving those lines across there. So even though I'm writing, and that looks super cool, but it's a very small amount of space that it's actually allowing you to write in. So that smoothing there works for any of the tools. So if you want to go in and use any of that, you can. I think that at 100%, that's going to be a lot better for your straight lines. Now there isn't a snap to straight line or snap to shape like in some other tools right now. I think those are some things that they have talked about potentially doing in the near future, but nothing that we've seen just yet. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that page. So one thing I want to do real quick is actually take a look at those new lettering guides that were on top of here. So let's go out of here and go into the studio. And I think, and because it's new, I'm not quite sure where to find them just yet. I'm sure I will find them probably under templates. Actually, probably, I guarantee they're under templates. Let's actually go and look at that. Let's go back into our journal. Let's go into a new page and let's tap on templates. Because I actually wanted to show you something else in here that had to do with templates. You can now ungroup the templates, but all right, I don't see them. So I'm actually going to use the search button here and let's see. Nope, it's not under lettering. Here we go. So I typed in guides and a bunch of lettering guides came up here. So that's there. Zinnia tip, this lettering guide works best with a technical pen. Play around with size, opacity, line smoothing, settings to find your sweet spot. So I already had the right pen to use for this type of thing, but of course you can use whatever you want. So let's try it out. I'm gonna pick on my technical pen here and we're gonna zoom in a little bit more. And I'm gonna take that down to about 80, 83 is what it actually says. Let's do 90. No. I feel like it's not enough. Not too shabby. Now the one thing I don't see on here which might have been good was maybe some of like the arrows that show you how to do your strokes. So maybe that would be something good for Zinnia to put in there in the near future. If you want to learn how to do hand lettering, having like the direction of the strokes can be really helpful with that. Because with this, for instance, let's just say because this is the technical pen, this works really well with those straight lines. But for instance, if I use the brush pen inside of here, which you can, let's take it down a little bit. The brush pen actually reacts to the pressure. So if I was going up and then down, I'm pressing down more. And then I think that, oh, there we go. So I'm gonna use the brush pen here. So let's see how I would do this. I would do my downstroke up, down, and over. So obviously I have a lot of work that I can do here, but just wanted to go through those real quick and see what those will look like. So plenty of that to play around with if you want to work on your digital hand lettering. All right, so the other thing I wanted to show you was actually inside of templates. And it was, I'm just gonna find just a random planner here, for instance. So what I did is I went inside of templates, right, and I clicked on this daily planner. And if you want, these are planners that are already all put together. They have all the text boxes inside of them. You can either keep them like this and add it in by text, or if I want, I can lock this down and then come inside of here with my actual, I would use a pencil or a technical pen, and then write my task with that pen if I wanted to, or if I wanted to, I could just type it inside of here. A lot of different options there. Now, what I wanted to show you here is that, let's say I only from this selection wanted to use just this task box that's over here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is unlock it. That way I can interact with it. And now what I'm gonna do is actually tap ungroup. And then what that does is it takes each of the elements that were already grouped together and breaks them apart. So if I only want the task box, I can now take that out of there. Now in my case, I wanted the title that's inside of here too. So what I would do is tap and hold with my lasso tool, select the two items that I want, and then move them over here. And then if I wanted to, I could then just group these together like that, and then select all of these pieces here, throw them away. And then now I have this, and I can bring this over inside of whatever type of spread that I want to create. So pretty cool. I can find that really handy because underneath the templates, there are a lot of really cool templates that exist here, but for me personally, I don't know if I want to use all of them. So for instance, I really like on this one here, I really like the water tracker, for instance, but like I don't want all these other things. If I just want like a really quick water tracker, I could just tap on it, ungroup it, hold down my lasso tool, and then bring it over here and then get rid of the rest of the items over here and then keep going with it. If I wanted to also, I could also just select all of them out of here, copy it. Say I wanted to go back over to this page, for instance, and then I can just paste it over here and start adding it to the rest of my page. So I really like the way that works out. So it could be something you can use too if you see something that's a part of a template, but you're not really quite sure how you want to work with it, you can pop it right on here. So the other thing that's in here that I didn't show you before is when you're inside of this section, you'll see that we have the search bar. So that's actually what we use to find one of those drawing items there, typing in guides. The other one over here is kind of a recently used or a history. So say you found something that you really liked on a page, but you didn't know quite where it was and you want to keep using it, you can tap on the recently used in your history and you'll come across all of the elements that you've used. And these are some of the newer ones and I've used them for a while. So I'm not sure if there's a limit to how many items are inside of here, but I just used these sugar skulls for another idea that you'll see in the very near future, maybe about 2 weeks ago. So they're pretty far back there that they've been saving here. So other new feature that you see inside of that. We took a look at a lot of the new features inside of here, and I thought it was a really good return to Zinnia. Like I said, if you're interested in checking out the original full walkthrough of all of the elements, I'll add the card to the top of here right now for the original review of Zinnia that I went through it, so you can check to see out what it used to be like. But also in that video, we go much deeper into all of the different pages and the elements and things like that to take a look at. So it's a good video to go back to and refer to. All right, so now I want to share two special things with you. The first thing is, as of right now, you can get the Zinnia app on the Apple App Store for your iPad. And like I said, you can pay for the premium version and have as many journals and as many pages as you want, or you can go with the free version just to try it out and see what you like. Now, a lot of people have been asking if there's going to be an iPhone version of this. And because Zinnia is a great company and they definitely listen to their users, there's actually currently a beta of the Apple iPhone app in play. And I got my hands on it a little bit early. I thought I'd give you a real quick preview of it just so you can see the screens. Now, this is beta, so a lot of this could potentially change, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek to show you what that looks like. So as more things come out for that, I'll definitely be doing videos on this in the future. Now, speaking of future videos, I have a really cool partnership that I'm going to be doing with Zinnia. So in the near future, what I'm going to be doing with my YouTube channel is I'm going to be doing Plan With Me's inside of a traditional bullet journal. And then what I'm going to do is work with Zinnia, and I'll be creating those same or very similar spreads inside of the digital app. So you'll be able to see what both of these can look like in a traditional bullet journal or planner and what that might look like in a digital planner. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of differences between the two because one bullet journal I'm doing myself by hand and might need a little bit more artistic skill than I would need inside of Zinnia. You could definitely use stickers and other things like that. But really what I want to show you is just different ways to do the same thing. If you want to keep a traditional bullet journal or planner, you absolutely can. And if you want, you can also do similar things inside of Zinnia. Now for myself, I'm kind of between both of them. I keep a traditional bullet journal for myself for work. I just really like the way that that works. But Zinnia offers a lot of creative freedom inside of there. I mean, right now, I can write inside of here with that line smoothing tool, and if it doesn't look great, I can just erase it and try it again. If you're doing that on paper, not that it's a waste, I very much believe that doing things by hand on paper is really important to get those skills down. But depending on your mood, even where you are, maybe you don't have a calligraphy pen with you or any other pen, but you have your iPad and your Apple Pencil. You can do that right here on screen. So a lot of really cool options that you can do. So I'm excited to share that with you. We'll probably see some of those videos in the next few weeks, so keep your eyes out for those. I'll be definitely talking about them on my social media channels, and Zinnia will be talking about them as well on those. So if you want to download this on your app now, you can come right in and type in Zinnia. You'll see Zinnia Journal right here, and at the top you'll see the Zinnia Journal and Planner. So if you want to get this, you can get it for now. It's absolutely free, like I said, and you get about 3 planners with 3 pages inside of each of those. Or if you want the premium version, you can also upgrade for that and get unlimited use, unlimited journals, unlimited pages. We went through all of the features of Zinnia today, so we took a look at the new journal covers that they have. We looked at line smoothing, all of the new fall content, really exciting. And of course, we also talked about a future iPhone version that I mentioned was in beta right now, which we got a little bit of a sneak peek at earlier today. And like I said before, all of this could change because it's in beta, but really excited to be partnering along with them, as well as other creative planners that are also beta testing as well to create a really premium and awesome experience on the phone. Don't forget to like this video for returning to Zinnia and checking out this new app. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Men Who Bullet, both here on YouTube, and definitely check me out and follow me on Instagram as well for more content around bullet journal, planning, and personal organization. Thanks for joining me in this return to Zinnia today. I'm looking forward to a lot of new videos in the very near future utilizing Zinnia and traditional planning as well. So hopefully you'll check those out too. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will talk to you very soon.